Hi, survivors. It's me, Prepper Zan, reporting to you. Hope you are doing well, because what's going on in this world is not. It's awful. It's horrific. In the scriptures, it talks about the last days in Revelations. And everything in the Word, in Revelations, that was spoke about in the scriptures were describing these times we're living in now. Every single thing. Wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, disease, famine. That's what we're going through right now. And the graphic nature of the word in which it was described to us in the scriptures and Revelations, that's what we're approaching now. So many people are not paying attention and ignoring it. Sometimes a lot of us don't want to face the truth because we want to continue to live our lives in the way of how we once lived our lives, and not wanting to realize that way of living is over. It's done with. It's out of there, as they would say. Some people don't want to face this harsh reality of what's upon us. And some people don't even think anything is wrong. I don't know. You gotta be, I don't know how to describe it. Something's terribly wrong with a person. Or maybe they're not in their right mind to not see what's going on around us. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that there's something terribly wrong in this world in which we're living in, and with the people that's governing it. All this evil that they're spewing and creating. Most of these things that we're dealing with that are so awful, dealing with the W-A-R- over there, and even that over here, dealing with the inflation, the food shortages, the pestilence, the disease, the illnesses, the supply shortages, the wrecked economy. You know, people passing in huge numbers of these illnesses. All of that is a reflection of the things that they have created, and the things and agendas they've ushered in. I don't know when and why mankind has ever depended on a government. When even in the scriptures and even in our history have shown to be corrupt, allegedly, have shown to be evil, have shown to be greedy. But people continue to act as if these people in power care about them, or are going to come to their aid or be there for them in any kind of way, when they've always shown to not be that way. Even with this weather manipulation, all these things are going on now. So the question we ask ourselves is, how do we survive this? When you start talking about whether something we cannot control, I'm gonna start calling it weather crimes. Just popping up in a blink of an eye. Tornadoes, hurricanes, out of their season. Floods, earthquakes in diverse places. How you survive it? That's why I tell y'all can store all day long. If you don't have it right with God, if you're not prayed up, and if your faith not increased like it should be, you're already defeated. Because a lot of these things that's amongst us is going to take acts of God and God's mercy and grace to get us through it. Yeah, as a human being, you prepare yourselves as well, because God helped those who help themselves. So you stack up and you grow your own fruits and vegetables and foods, and you raise your own livestock and your own farm animals and depend on that source to feed you and your families, of course, quite naturally. But with everything that we're dealing with all at one time, you need to have a good relationship with God. We need to have a good relationship with God. It's going to take fasting and praying and stacking. Because y'all, the weather, it's going to be soon a time where we're going to have to migrate from here to there. Like kind of like what you're seeing now. But a lot of people have been migrating, not because of the weather, but because of the mandates and this agenda and the politics in certain areas of the world. And because maybe it was more populated in some areas than it was in other areas, and that illness affected people in the masses. But soon we'll be migrating from here to there to survive because of weather catastrophes. Mark my words. Believe me when I tell you this, so you'll know how to prepare yourselves. All these things are ushered in through these so-called leaders. It's a global agenda. When you have people in record-breaking numbers, and which y'all mainstream media don't want to tell y'all about, but it's all kinds of animals, foreign animals, domestic animals. They usually tend their own business and stay in their habitat. Now they're finding themselves in domestic areas, showing up on people's doorsteps because they're hungry and they're thirsty. Animals are so smart. Most animals are smarter than human beings because they're not going to just put any type of food in their mouths or any type of water or beverage. They can pay attention to nature to navigate their direction. Everything they do is of nature. Everything we do is of man. But when you have animals showing up to people's doorsteps, that should tell you something. They're calling out for help. They're knowing that the times we're living in and the times that we're facing, they're going to need help. We're talking about animals. We're talking about beings that don't depend on nobody but themselves and their herds and their tribes. Now, they're looking for help from human beings. So that should tell you something, because usually animals try to stay away from human beings. I'm having so many people comment telling me this when I put out videos about the animals, telling me they have all kinds of animals showing up at their doorstep, looking for help, for water and food. These are the times that we're facing. The end is near. Prepare or perish. You might not have the money or the means to buy one of those fancy bunkers, but if you have a backyard or a yard, you might want to take that shovel and start digging dirt up out the ground and build you something underground. Prepare yourself now. Or if you don't, you might want to find some land somewhere